The U.S. and war crimes, the truth about complicity and power. For decades, the United States has called itself a defender of democracy and a protector of human rights. But behind the slogans, lies a darker truth. They call it the land of the free, the leader of the free world. But what happens when that leader breaks the very laws it helped write? From drone strikes that killed civilians, to wars that left entire countries in ruins. U.S. is facing growing accusations of committing, and enabling, war crimes. The list is long. In Pakistan, Yemen, and Somalia, drone strikes often hit more than just targets. Under President Obama, the U.S. launched over 500 drone strikes in foreign countries. The targets? Suspected terrorists. But the cost? Thousands of civilians. In Iraq, the world saw the horror of torture at Abu Ghraib. In Yemen, American-made bombs fell on schools and hospitals, with U.S. support behind the scenes. And then there's Israel, a key U.S. ally. Billions in military aid flow to Israel each year, funding operations in Gaza. The U.S. has given Israel over $150 billion in aid, more than to any other country. Each year, $3.8 billion in military support flows regardless of war or peace. But what's the cost of that loyalty? In 2021, Israel's air campaign killed over 260 Palestinians in Gaza, including women and children, in just 11 days. Entire buildings flattened. And in 2023, Israel resumed full-scale military operations, backed by U.S. munitions. At the United Nations, the U.S. blocks accountability. At the International Criminal Court, it refuses jurisdiction, even passing laws to protect American soldiers from being tried for war crimes. At the United Nations, the U.S. has vetoed over 40 resolutions critical of Israel. When the International Criminal Court investigated war crimes in Palestine, the U.S. pushed back, threatening sanctions and refusing cooperation. The message is clear. The rules apply to others, not to us. So what happens when the enforcer of international law becomes its greatest exception? Without accountability, the victims remain forgotten. Justice is denied. And future crimes are almost guaranteed. What is the message we send when power trumps law? For many in the global south and beyond, the answer is clear: the rules don't apply to the powerful. And America's silence in the face of its own actions is fueling global distrust. Across the globe, the U.S. is no longer seen as a liberator, but as an occupier. The images of drone debris, torture cells, and vetoed justice have fueled hatred and extremism, not peace. Washington condemns Russia for war crimes in Ukraine. It warns China about Xinjiang. But when it comes to its own record, or that of Israel, silence. Or worse, justification. The United States still has the power to lead with integrity. To stop fueling conflict and start enforcing peace, equally. But that begins with accountability, transparency, and the courage to confront its own crimes. The question now isn't just whether war crimes have been committed. It's whether the world is ready to hold everyone, even the powerful, accountable.